Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. I'm not even putting an outline together for this shit. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, talking about guys who should have fought when they had a chance. We will never know who was the better fighter, who was the best. Now look, it's really unfortunate what happened to Anthony Joshua out there in Nigeria. Like that, I don't have nothing to say about that, right? Because it's just, my heart goes out to him, man. But I'm talking boxing. So I think you guys will understand there's a big difference here. Because I'm talking boxing. So I'm talking boxing, I got to keep it real, right? Anthony Joshua put duck sauce on the fried rice when it came to fighting Deontay Wilder. Now, do I blame him? Somewhat. But one thing we know is he trusted Eddie Hearn to navigate his career and to make all the decisions and to try to get him the most money with the least amount of risk. One thing we know, if he would have fought Deontay Wilder, that was a whole lot of risk. When Wilder had the WBC strap and Joshua had the other three, to me, that was a no-brainer. Both of these guys in their prime, big-time knockout artists. What are we doing? Why aren't we making the fight? Well, you know why we're not making the fight? Because Eddie Hearn didn't want to take on that risk. Now, let me give y'all some facts now. The UK people probably going to sit here and get upset. What are you talking about, hot champion? What I'm talking about is the goddamn facts. Anthony Joshua initially said, give him $50 million. He'd fight Deontay Wilder. Now, he didn't say, I'll think about it, like Layla Ali said about Clarissa Shields. $15 million, 1-5, and 15 to 20, and I'll think about it. Clarissa Shields said that. She said, give her 15 and she'll fight me. Layla didn't say that. Now, Anthony Joshua to Deontay Wilder, he said $50 million. 40, 50, I think he said 50 million. And I'll fight. Anyway, Wilder and his team came up with the 50 million. Going back and forth with Anthony Joshua, Wilder talked to Joshua. Joshua called him directly. And Wilder's like, yep, we got the money. Then all of a sudden, they said the money wasn't real. Started making excuses. Next thing you know, Eddie Hearn offered Wilder a big-time deal. I think it was like $15 million for Dominique Brazil. A 3-fight deal they wanted to offer Wilder. Then $40 million for the first fight with AJ and $40 million for the second fight. So it ended up being close to a $100 million deal they were going to give Deontay Wilder for 3 fights. But this is the problem. Because for us on the outside, we're like, yo, that's a lot of money. They about to give Wilder that Wu-Tang cream, cha-ching-ching. Then the fight doesn't happen. And Wilder's like, people out here playing. They want to give me $40 million to fight AJ, but they wouldn't tell Wilder and his team what AJ was going to make. They basically wanted to treat him like he was some dumb country bumpkin from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, who didn't have smart people around him and would just sit there and jump at the $40 million they were going to give him. Now, for those who are saying, no, it was Wilder, he was stupid, he should have took the money. I mean, when you look at how everything played out for him, maybe he should have, maybe he shouldn't have. But I'm going to tell you, I think he did the right thing. Because how do you go into negotiations with someone and you're sitting there and you're having a conversation, you're talking about this money that's available. We're going to give you this, but you're not going to talk about what your guy is going to get. They just wanted, it was like a take it or leave it deal. And Wilder was like, no, he's not going to sit there and just be taken advantage of. Because let me tell you something, if somebody's offering you $40 million and they don't want to tell you what the other person's, what their guy is making, you better believe their guy's going to be making more money than your ass, a lot more. Then you find out that the Saudis, Daniel Kinahan was the one putting up that money. So Anthony Joshua probably was going to make, that would have been for undisputed too, 2 fights, there was a rematch, probably would have made close to $100 million each fight. And Wilder would have been stuck with 40. They would have humiliated him and robbed him. And that's not right. So what ended up happening a few months later, maybe a year or so later, anyway, the DAZN rep came out. They were talking about it. And they said, it was their fault. They were inexperienced. And I'm paraphrasing now, but they just said they didn't treat Wilder with the respect of a champion, and negotiations failed because of DAZN and their side of the house. Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua, DAZN side, not Wilder. So for those of y'all who still to this day trying to blame Deontay Wilder for him and AJ not fighting for Undisputed back then, it's not his fault. But it's just greed on Eddie Hearn's side. Because let me tell you, I think he was scared for AJ. Because back then, Wilder was destroying everyone. Destroying them. And when you see somebody get in the ring, one hitter, quitter, tranquilize them, put the bing, it wasn't even a bing bing, it was just bing, out, cold. That shit messes with your psyche. Anyway, you fast forward, Wilder's out here still doing his thing. Tyson Fury comes back to the sport of boxing. And all of a sudden, AJ and Eddie Hearn, they're playing hardball and shit with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury and Wilder come together, look like they tried to railroad AJ, freeze him out. They had their trilogy. They made a lot of money, those 3 fights. And AJ kept plugging along. AJ goes on to lose to Usyk. Wilder lost, he got a draw, lost 2 fights with Fury. Fury's at the top of the heavyweight division. So anyway, you're sitting here saying to yourself, okay, and trust me, them Wilder fights and Fury, that shit is not so straightforward. Because even I think Fury cheated, all right? I think, and when I say cheated, it means he had a lot of help. You just got to go watch the video I did on it. I ain't here to recap that whole video. I did it a couple years ago. Go watch that shit. I think it's like what really happened with Tyson Fury and Wilder. You go watch that and open your eyes. But fast forward, man, AJ loses to Usyk twice. Fury's out here bubbling like he and AJ were trying to make a fight. They couldn't work that out because Wilder went to arbitration, was able to force Fury into a fight with Wilder for the 3rd fight. Then anyway, it looks like Wilder and AJ were going to finally fight after Wilder had his losses, beat Helenius, then was coming to Saudi. All he had to do was beat Joseph Parker. The deal was in place for him to fight AJ. He goes out there, he loses to Joseph Parker. Who could have saw that shit coming? But then he got, we were all blaming Freaky Maliki, but then Wilder comes out here in the last couple of weeks and says he had a lot of distractions in his personal life, wasn't focused in training camp. That's why I think Clarissa is going to lose to Franchon. Or she has a good chance of losing because even Wilder said, you can't focus in training camp. How effective can you be? And Clarissa doesn't seem to be as focused as she is normally. How effective is she going to be against Franchon? But the bottom line is he and AJ, the fight just got away from us. So now we're sitting here like, shit, we ain't never going to see Wilder and AJ fight because they were ready to do it. So we're like, okay, maybe we'll get AJ and Fury. So Fury fights Usyk. He loses twice to Usyk. And we're still sitting here in the holding pattern like, effort, still give us Wilder and AJ, give us Fury and AJ, because at least Fury and Wilder fought each other 3 times. You got to put some respect on the name. AJ didn't fight either one of them. And I don't think AJ is afraid of anyone. I think it's Eddie Hearn. But to me, those fights should have happened. But now, right when we thought, because AJ and Fury had agreed on a deal to fight in 2026. So here we are now thinking, boom, we're about to get the AJ Fury fight this year. I mean, way past its expiration date, but we'll take it. And then we'll get Wilder and AJ for sure, because AJ and Wilder is a fight that still generates a lot of interest. And it's a big money fight, and people are going to watch it because you just don't know what's going to happen. And these guys can crack, and you just want to see who wins. Right when we were excited about 2026, AJ and Fury, and that fight happening, I think about summertime or something, then you get the information. Something happened in Nigeria with a car accident. Find out AJ lost 2 of his friends. Then you find out AJ was in the front seat, and the driver told me to get in the back seat because he was so big. So if AJ would have been in the front seat, AJ would have been the one who would have perished. Now, when you think about everything that AJ has gone through as a result of that car accident, AJ sounds like he's done with boxing. So Fury has to find someone else to face. I don't think there's anyone Fury can face that can create the buzz of him and Anthony Joshua and in a battle for Britain type fight. But the reality is, AJ and Fury right now, it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Because how effective can Anthony Joshua be in training camp with what he just went through? And one of the guys, I believe, was a strength and conditioning coach. And these were close friends of his. Wherever he went, you saw those two. They all played a role in Anthony Joshua's development as a boxer and as a friend and a support system and a confidant, right? And those two guys are gone. I'll be honest with you, man. I think the smart thing to do is just to pull chocks and ease away from the sport. Will he permanently retire? I don't know what's going to happen, but his mind can't be where he wants it, especially to go on and get prepared for Tyson Fury. But I know Eddie Hearn, right? He and Joshua are friends, business relationship, but they're friends first. I think Eddie Hearn is going to sit. I do think AJ will fight Fury. I don't know if it'll be this year, but I think he just needs some time to sit back and reconstitute himself. Really reconstitute himself. Because I think one thing about AJ, what may be even more tragic than what he experienced in Nigeria is a case of unrealized, I think, refinement. Unrealized perseverance and unrealized adaptability. Because he's going to need all that, man, if he decides to continue fighting, especially this year. But definitely take his time to get his stuff together. But when you look at it, right, everyone can learn from Wilder, Fury, and AJ. These three guys, this three-headed monster that had the heavyweight division on lock, that to me should have been every promoter's dream. F everyone. We're going to take these three guys, pay them the most money we can possibly give them, and just have them in a tournament-style fight. You're all going to fight 2-3 times against each other. And just one man in, one man out. This one, take time off. You two fight. And just have them go in there and scrap. There's no way we should be at this point. And Anthony Joshua had never fought Fury and never fought Wilder. That's ridiculous. And I really do think this year would have been the year where maybe, I know we would have saw Fury and AJ. And maybe next year we would have saw AJ and Wilder. Because he had talked about it. And Wilder still wanted it. But I just think we've gotten even further away from AJ fighting either one of those guys. They should have fought when they had the chance. And that's why when you look at the Devin Haney's, the Shakir's, the Gervonta Davises, you look at Jamel Charlo, what's his name? Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. You just start thinking about the big names across divisions, or big names who are separated by a few pounds, one division below or above. They need to fight. Because you just never know what's going to happen. You just don't know. Terrence Crawford is very lucky to have gotten the Earl Spence fight. Earl Spence, let's be honest, he probably should have never come back to the sport of boxing. But he did come back. He did do very well. He just ran up against a guy, Terrence Crawford. And people still have opinions about that fight. And as far as Terrence Crawford winning and why he won and how he won and a lot of what ifs, right? But the bottom line is, Terrence Crawford, styles make fights. He just had the kind of style that was going to beat Earl Spence no matter what. Could Earl Spence have made it more competitive? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the accident affected him that much, but what I will say is, because of the accident, Crawford doesn't really get the credit he deserves for that fight. And he's very lucky to even get that fight because Earl Spence really, the man was thrown from a goddamn Ferrari doing over 100 miles an hour or something and landed on the fucking concrete. I mean, there's no joke. Losing teeth and all kind of shit. You see, we didn't see the images of Earl Spence immediately after the crash. And I'm glad they did a good job to control that shit being leaked. We saw a couple of him where after he had started to heal up a little bit with the bloodshot eye, we didn't see what he looked like after they went and peeled his ass up off the pavement. That would probably be an image that we could never forget. And to be honest with you, I don't want to see it. I like seeing him now. Dead, big, strong, healthy, skin glowing, smiling. You know, he talks slow. Yeah, man. I don't know. Earl Smith be sounding a little bit like he's still hitting the bulls and shit, don't he? But Crawford was lucky. But for all these other guys, they need to fight and stop bullshitting. Oh, a year from now, we're letting it marinate. We'll start cooking 2 years from now. No, start cooking now. We hungry now, motherfucker. Get out there and goddamn cook. We want to see the fight. We want to see the bullshit. We don't want to wait 2 years. Because look what happened. They just let this goddamn bullshit ass fights marinate till the goddamn shit sat in the refrigerator so long till it goddamn spoiled. You know you done had some shit in the refrigerator too long when the shit spoils. Should have been put that shit on the grill. Start to cook that beef. But here we are. And this is sad. You know, it just makes me think about Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, Iran Barclays, those guys. Cats was out there scrapping, man. Them guys were out there getting busy. It wasn't, in 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Nah, fuck that. You mention my name, I'm coming to see you. The motherfucker was so wild back then, they'd punch you in the mouth. No fight scheduled, just see you and run up on you, man. They took pride in that shit. Now, I ain't saying fighters don't take pride in it, but ain't nobody out here, this ain't the wild, wild goddamn West anymore like it should have been, like it used to be. And I would like to see it back to that. You mention my name, fuck it, we fight next. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the pride? Where's the honor? But anyway, when it comes to AJ, when it comes to Fury, when it comes to Wilder, I don't know what's going to happen, man. But I do think right now, the irony is brutal. Each man, in my opinion, need the other to complete his legacy. Joshua needed Wilder, Wilder needed Joshua to validate their dominance. So you look at these three guys who had the heavyweight division on lock, right? All of them haven't mixed it up with each other. There's one guy, came up from cruiserweight, flew his ass up in there. Alexander Usyk. He fought Joshua, he fought Fury, he about to fight Wilder now. So little Alexander Usyk come from Ukraine. Little Ali comes from nowhere. Little Ali come up to the heavyweight division. Binged up Joshua, binged up Fury, about to fight Wilder. Everyone feels he's about to bing Wilder's ass up. And that's good for Usyk. He understood the assignment. Usyk ain't got time to play around. That man's on a seek and destroy mission. And that's how they should have been with each other. Fight, you lose, rematch, you win, trilogy, whoever wins that goes on, gets the other guy. Let them do their business, depending on who wins or loses. Then if they haven't fought, the guy who initially lost, come back and fight him. But at least all three of them would have fought. They could have done that. Boxing fans would have put their money up for that. Promoters would have made money hand over fist. Wilder, after losing to Fury, right? Three fights, lost twice. He could have still went in his next fight and fought AJ and made hella money. Because they know the fight would have sold. Especially during that time, because Joshua lost the Usyk? They could have made them fights. Anyway, we're gonna see what happens now. Because now Fury talking about fighting goddamn Fabio Wardley. He can say what he wants. Fabio Wardley ain't no joke, man. Fury better be careful. Better be careful. Unless they go pay him $100 million or something. Better be careful with that damn Wardley. Wardley is no joke. But it's sad. They should have fought when they had a chance. You know what I'm saying? Joshua, somebody was saying, well, if Joshua continues, he should kind of drift towards soft matchmaking. Joshua not drifting towards no damn soft matchmaking, you know. But because these guys haven't fought, because Joshua hasn't fought the Wilder and Fury, the fans are going to argue for decades about hypothetical outcomes. You know what I'm saying? I do think if he fought Wilder, Joshua's fundamentals could have helped him outpoint Wilder early in the fight, then knock him out. But then I also feel Joshua trying to coochie-coo tickle and chicken peck and try to go in there and be a chicken tickling the coochie. I think Wilder could have landed the right hand on him too. They both could have knocked each other out. Both of them guys could have knocked each other out. That's what's so crazy about it. Then you think about Fury fighting a guy like AJ. His size neutralized Wilder. And Wilder still almost got him out of there. But could Fury have neutralized AJ? AJ's stronger than Wilder? Hit harder? I don't know, but there ain't not too much difference in punching power. AJ can knock your ass out. But how would that have worked out, AJ and Fury? Most people look at AJ's build and be like, ain't no way in the world Fury's going to bully him. But Fury knows how to box dirty. Make it uncomfortable. Fury knows how to win. He's a winner. But we'll never know, man. And in my opinion, uncertainty is the punishment for a generation that chose management over mythology. You got to finish your story in boxing. If you're a fighter, you got to finish your story. Fans don't care about paydays. They don't care about excuses. They don't care about almost, thought about it, almost there. However, that being said, we don't care. We don't hear all them transitions. When you start using that prison lingo, we get nervous. We think you're going back for $5 and shit. But what boxing fans care about and remember is people who fought and who you fought. And did you fight when it mattered? Right now, Wilder, Fury, Joshua feel less like an era and more like three parallel careers that refuse to collide fully. And it's sad. But we'll see what AJ does, man. If he fully steps away without facing Fury, without facing Wilder, we can understand. Because he's going through a lot, man. That shit is rough. Rough. It's rough, boy. I'm telling you. Rough, boy. But at the end of the day, his legacy is going to become incomplete by definition because that's going to haunt him. And Joshua wants a complete legacy. Win, lose, or draw, he wants a complete legacy. But this is a lot. This is a lot. And it's not bad. It's not embarrassing if he retires and doesn't come back. But I think it'll be just unfinished because there'll always be the conversation. I should have fought when you had the chance. But then it'll be like, however, we understand. Because we understand. Most people now understand boxing and how it works and the politics. And we get it. It's a business. And things happen. And something that happened, I mean, it's not even just something that happened with AJ, with his friends out there in Nigeria. Catastrophic. I just think in heavyweight boxing, unfinished legacies fade faster than knockouts. So this wasn't just a missed super fight. It was a missed historical obligation for these three guys. They had a historical obligation to make sure for years to come, the videos of them would be circulating with Wilder and AJ in the trilogy, and Fury and AJ, the trilogy, Fury and Wilder, the trilogy. That's what we should have had. You know what I'm saying? To go to YouTube and there'll be 9 different fights. The trilogies, the three-headed monsters in the trilogies. Like they could have had some wordplay. They could have played on that shit. But looks like an opportunity's been missed. You know what I'm saying? You just don't get many moments like this, man. And I just think when you have those moments, you need to seize them, or you become a cautionary tale. And this right here, this shit becomes a cautionary tale. Like, this would make a really good series. Just talk about everything for someone to really do the research and make this into like a 9-part series and talk about all their careers, when they first started, why they started, amateur, then get into the pro, then get into them and fights and trying to negotiate and what happened, all the way up until what happened here recently with AJ and him talking about being done with the sport. You know, that would make for a really interesting documentary. No kidding. Like, if they were to charge people to watch it, I don't spend money on shit like that. I would. You get everything on YouTube. I would pay for that. Anyway, they should have fought when they had a chance. We'll never know who was the best. And I'm out here crying. I'm crying. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.